Okay, what a week this has been for the Fife Property market. I'll tell you, there's a lot of changes happened in the Fife Property market. The numbers this week actually look pretty good, but if you look at the whole of May, it's clearly obvious which places are actually suffering the most in terms of sales. This is right across the board, across the Fife Property market with every single estate agent. So this is not unique to us. This is every single estate agent is experiencing this issue in these regions. This is all our numbers according to Rightmove. I get access to every property listed on Rightmove and every property sold on Rightmove as well, with all the estate agents in Fife. That data collates every single week. So we're going to look at it for the month of May as well. But it is a glaringly obvious picture, and it actually goes in line with what I'd been saying in one of the a couple of weeks ago with respect to the number of days on average to sell in each property area, and based on supply and demand as well. So let's drill down and look at numbers right now. If you know anybody in these markets actually currently on the market just now, then it's maybe worth actually just giving them a heads up and tagging them in this post so they understand where everything is right now in terms of the property market overall. Okay, so let's do a wee bit of housekeeping first. I'm just doing a wee bit of editing right now to make sure I've got that all done. And we're going to bring up this graph as well. Okay, so this is what happened last week in the Fife property market. So let me explain what's going on here. Right across the board, we can see in the area. So, example, go right down to the bottom line, and it looks everything's rosy. 133 properties listed in the week with all the estate agents in Fife last week. 131 properties actually sold. So, yeah, that's pretty good. That is really good in this type of market. But if you start to drill down in certain markets, you'll see where it's glaringly obvious. It's maybe taking a wee bit longer to sell in properties and in areas, and also a wee bit oversupply as well. But the numbers in May are about to come up next after this will confirm that, and it will be obvious. So Cooper, 5 properties came on the market, 9 properties sold, so demand outstripping supply. East Neuk, 10 came on, 4 sold. Supply outstripping demand. St Andrews, 5 came on, 3 sold. Again, supply outstripping demand. Leavenmouth, 7 came on, 9 sold. Dunfermline, 59 came on, 65 sold. So demand outstripping supply in both these areas. Glenorthis, 22 versus 14. So, supply, a wee bit oversupply in Glenorthis area. Kirkcaldy, 25 versus 27. Eden Stevens in the Kirkcaldy area. So 133 properties actually sold. Listed, 131 properties actually sold, which is really good. The average is actually 81%. You should be aiming for, because 19% is either deceased estates or they're moving out the area, so they don't go into buying the area. So the sold number would go down in conjunction with that as well. And the same with similar situations where you have to sell for, and it's only the last sale of that property for that person. Okay, so if that was right, then 81% is actually 107. So doing pretty well last week. But when we drill down to the numbers on a monthly basis, look at this, is glaringly obvious. Look at that. Now, there's 676 in the month actually sold, and that's a lot more than usual. It's usually about 100 a week or 120, which is about 500 a month. So a lot more oversupply coming in, but there's a lot more actually sold. But if you drill down into the areas, you'll see in Cooper, 50 properties listed, 43 properties sold last month, 86%, well over the 81% average, which is a good point. East Neuk, 44 came on, only 28 sold, 64%, way under where it should be. So it means there's an oversupply just now in a short-term basis, possibly in the East Neuk market, which means it goes in line with, it should take a wee bit longer to sell a property in the East Neuk area as opposed to Cooper. St Andrews, a similar picture. 55 came on, actually 35 sold. So only 64%. So supply outstripping demand there. So people have a lot of choice to choose from. Therefore, you have to be more proactive with your pricing in order to make sure your house is attractive to other people. And this is where we talk about. So Richard and I did a couple of shows during the week. On Friday, we did one actually called the campaign for the summer, which is your summer viewings, how to stand out from the crowd in the best selling season in Fife. Now, that was really good top tips about what your front of house is like. catching the light coming into the rooms, keep the rooms fresh and cool, going for your garden glory and how to make it look the best, and expect evening appointments as well, and all the top tips in order to do that. So listen to, just click on this link, go down the list, and you click on the one that says summer viewings, stand out from the crowd in the best season. And the podcast will be on there if you want to listen to the podcast, or you can watch the show, or you can just read the article. But the podcast and the show actually go in a huge depth and insight into how to get the perfect position for your property, so you'll stand out way ahead above everyone else as a result of that. So when you're listening to these ones, I suggest possibly take notes, or maybe just print off the actual article itself and maybe write notes next to it of what additionally said over and above that to add more value to your house sale in order to get possibly your house sale sold. If you're stagnant right now, this is the one that you should be listening to, the summer viewings one. And you should be taking notes on that, definitely, because it's not by chance. If we go back to the numbers here, as I said here, it clearly obviously says in East Neuk and St Andrews, that it's supply is outstripping demand. So you've got competition against other properties in your price bracket probably, and the buyers now have a choice now for possibly a short term purpose, maybe over the next 5 or 6 months. So it will take a lot longer. As I said before, on average, there's enough stock. There's 170 properties on the market in St Andrews right now available for sale. You look it up yourself, KY16 St Andrews, or just type in St Andrews into Rightmove, and you see about 170 properties available for sale right now. Look how many are bought on average right now in the St Andrews area. 35. So if you take 35, 170, and divide it by 35, you get 5 months it's taking on average to sell a property right now in St Andrews. If you do the same with East Neuk and you look at number of properties in the East Neuk area, and let me just quickly tell you how many are available in East Neuk right now. I'll just quickly jump onto Zoopla. You could do this yourself because I'm doing exactly the same thing. KY10 is the East Neuk area, picks in all the postcodes there. There's 64 properties in KY10, KY9, which is Ely, 64 and 14. So 64 and 14 is 78. Now, if you look back to the numbers in here, you've got 78 properties in the market. You've got 28 properties selling. So 78 divided by 28 equals just under 3 months to sell in East Neuk right now, according to these numbers. And then, as I said before, if you go over the other regions, you tend to find when you get down to lower price points, when you come into mid Fife, which is the centre of Fife, which is tends to be Leavenmouth and the Cooper area, it tends to get a lot quicker to sell a property. And then you go over to the west coast, and it's like properties are selling like they're going out of fashion. So this is all to do with proper strategies and understanding how many people are in your market right now to buy your property in your area. This is why you speak to a skilled estate agent, understands and has these analytics, and is able to give you the right advice on what you should be doing. Whether you should actually go on the market now and managing your sale to make sure you can catch that person on the premise that your golden opportunity property might come up, and then you'll not be in a position to proceed because you maybe thought your house was going to fly off the shelf in a month, when in actual fact it's still on the market after 3 or 4 months, even 5 months or 6 months. And then that puts you in a difficult position when your dream property comes up. So get advice from your estate agent. That's the most important point I would say here. Listen to them. They might not tell you what you want to hear, but you need to listen to them. They're telling you for a reason, because that's the way the market is right now. They're the one that's got the expertise in that, and that's what you had. That's why you got them in the first place. So that's the most important thing, is to listen to your estate agent and understand what they're saying to you and take it on board and adapt and change to the current environment, unless you've got plenty of time to wait. You've got plenty of time to wait till it blows over. Wait till demand picks up and supply begins to drop again, because it will at some point in time. And if you can wait, then wait. But if you need to go now, you need to listen to your estate agent and take their advice on board and act on it, and not just think it over and hopefully it'll go away. Okay. So there we are. Here's the numbers right here, as I said before, in terms of the overall market. So the one that we did, as I said, if you're thinking about going to the market, or you're going to the market, or you want to know what to do, then definitely click on the summer viewings link. Stand out from the crowd for the best selling season. And we did one yesterday as well, Richard and I as well, to support that, called Viewings Feedback. So this is using negative buyers' comments to boost your home saleability. Yeah, you can turn the negative round into a positive. And also, I gave top tips on how to handle objections. If you're doing viewings yourself and you're getting questions or you're getting offers potentially, because that's what happens. I do it myself. When I go round to buy a property as an investor and I'm sent round to be taken round by the seller, I'll often try to negotiate on the spot with that person there and then. And if they're not skilled at handling objections and understanding what I'm doing right there and then and negotiating, I can often get below home report value quite easily and comfortably when I'm buying a property. So that's what you have to. That's why, more importantly, you're probably better to get your estate agent to do the viewings for you. That's critical here. That's why they're there. They're skilled negotiators. Well, some of them maybe are, because after all, I'm getting lower than what I'm buying it, lower than the home report value when I'm buying. So, that is the other estate agents I'm buying from. So then I'll have to question it and say, well, how skilled are they if I can do it? Okay, so viewings feedback and how to use negative buyers' comments to boost your home sellability. And this is things like, is the location right? Is there too much clutter? Are the rooms too small? Does it feel dark inside? And what to do about that? Is there too much work to do? These are all objection handling questions. These are all things about the location. I can handle an objection on a location quite easily and actually drill it down to see if that is the real objection. Because objection handling is like peeling an onion. Often the first objection you get and the first thing that somebody says about, oh, the price is too high. Okay, if we can do something about the price, would you buy it? Oh, well, actually, it's not in the right location. Oh, okay, if we could move this, just so I understand, if we could move this to another location and it was the same property, would you buy it? Oh, well, it's not got a drive or a. So, okay, if it had a drive and it had a garage, would you buy? Yeah, I would buy it. Okay, so if I can get it in the right location, if I can get it at the right price point, if I can get it with the garage and the drive, that's the type of property for you then. Okay, so let's talk about the location then, and then get all these objections out the way and drill it down to exactly what they want. So the next time they go to buy a property or view a property, you know exactly what they're looking for at that point in time, and you know the ones to refer to them as well as a result of that. That's about qualifying a buyer when they actually inquire with you, and also qualifying them as well when they come to view some of your properties to make sure you get the right person through the right door so you're not wasting the seller's time. Shouldn't be giving these top tips away in case other estate agents are listening. Anyway, so these are the two articles and the two shows and the two podcasts that I was doing during the week, Richard and I. A lot of good information there to how to add significant value to your home saleability. Your home saleability. Remember, your home does not sell itself. My cat could have sold one in lockdown because there was a huge boom market and everybody was clamoring about and there was loads of money sloshing about in the system. But that's gone now. These days are over. Everything's now repriced. Everything's moved up as a result of that. Mortgage costs have moved up as well, 60% since 2021. And these are the challenges ahead right now. And the Bank of England possibly might not be reducing base rates anytime soon, but there's a wee hint on the horizon, especially with election coming up. And how the election can influence your house sale as well. Often it goes very quiet before an election. Buyers disappear and they wait till the election's over. But then there's a huge flurry after the election, typically. So when it comes to the 4th of July and onwards, once the election's over, you find there's a huge flurry because they've all held off anyway and they're all waiting to go, but they're just no sure until the election's over. And then they're like, right, let's go now. Because remember, circumstances don't wait. If you've got a baby on the way, and they're due in another 2 months, and then you have to wait another month before after the election to see where you stand, then you're still only a month away. So it's now become critical. So you've just got to get on with it and buy almost the first house that's going to come along that suits. So that's what will happen generally after the election. Generally, election. Excuse the pun. Okay, so these are the viewings, the articles that Richard and I did. Let me talk about what's coming to market and what's sold. Give you a real good idea about where we are right now in terms of the property market and the Fife area for us anyway. It gives you a really good indication about what is selling. Because a lot of people think we can make blank statements here about saying, oh, if it's a high price point, it might take longer to sell. But that's maybe not true for the right properties. For the right properties and the right buyer in the market at that point in time, it sometimes doesn't. Let me just show you what happens here, just to get some of my notes here. Okay, so this is one of the ones that sold recently. We've got 2 or 3 here, but it gives you a good indication about what's selling and why they're selling. Okay, here we are. This is Westerforthur Cottage in Kingskettle. Now, this sold in 2 weeks. It offers over 230,000, a two-bedroom semi-detached cottage. Now, it's quite interesting because, as I said before, everything up to 300,000 tends to be selling quite well because there's still a market for it. Because people can still, a bigger audience can still afford it. But because of interest rates being so high in comparison to what they were historically before, therefore the higher price points beyond 300,000 become a bit more unattainable for that vast amount of people that could afford the 300,000 downwards, because then their affordability begins to fall out of the equation. Therefore, they're no longer a buyer in the higher price points. So that's away in 2 weeks. So it just shows you what can go in 2 weeks in that area. So if you've got something in Kingskettle, two bedroom, or that surrounding area, Kettlebridge, Kingskettle, all these different areas, Ladybank, stuff like that, then 200, if it's about 230,000, it'll sell quite well. So, give us a shout. Next one. No surprise there, West Shore in St Monans. Sold in 6 days. This is a two-bedroom, first-floor apartment. Needed a lot of work done to it. But I tell you what, historical interest, Grade B listed. This top-floor apartment right here, right across the top here. But it had a walled garden and it had its own personal beer vault. Yes, off the walled garden. And that's what made it a B listed. And it had a garage and it had a net loft above it as well. So off-street parking as well around the back at West Street was perfect. And this needed a lot of work done to it. It is literally needing a lot of work done to it. Over £100,000 worth, in my opinion. But it's good. It was, offers over 225,000, attractively priced. But these are actually really popular. We've still got a good market for these types of properties and people that want that. So if you've got a property that needs a lot of work done to it, don't think it won't sell. It'll probably be very attractive to some of the people we've got, especially the people that are inquiring about this one. Buchanan Park in Ceres, or Ceres, as people call it. I've been told about that before. It's Ceres. So sold in 3 weeks. It's away. 3-bedroom terraced house. Again, offers over 170,000. See that? Offers over 230, offers over 225, offers over 170. See how they're all below that price point? They're all actually going quite well. Hill Road in Leven, Kennoway actually. Leven's the postcode area, KY8. So Hill Road, Kennoway, sold in 11 days, or sorry, it was 3 weeks here. Sorry, I got that wrong. And it was a 3-bedroom end terraced house, and it was offers over 120,000. That's away as well. So they're popular as well. 120,000 offers over for these properties. So if you've got a property in Hill Road and Kennoway, and you think, price point probably about 100,000, well, think again. 3 bedrooms in terrace are 120,000 above. And finally, Denburn Place in Crail sold in 2 months. Now, I thought this took forever, but then that's me. Estate agency, we do a lot of work in the background. So what happens is we think it's been on the market forever, never, when it's actually only 2 months. 2-bedroom apartment sold, offers over 280,000. It is away. This one right here that you've got in here, the first floor and the top floor, and it is away. It was a cracking property if anybody saw that. But again, they're very, very popular. 2 months to sell. Again, see how we're approaching the 300,000 price mark, and see how we're approaching the longer to sell in the East Nuke area. So 2 months as opposed to 3 weeks and 3 weeks and 6 days. Okay, and that's it. So that's the ones that have actually sold. Let me talk about the stuff coming to market. So coming to market, Donaldson Road in Methil. This is a 3-bedroom terraced house. If you're looking for a property in Methil, 3-bedroom terraced house, it'll be a good price point. I know that. This could be the one for you. You message us direct and ask about these now, because we can get you registered and get you teed up for when it does actually hit the portals or it hits social media. If you're in a position to proceed, you could often make an offer before it even gets to anybody else. You're in there and already in advance. You're way ahead of everybody else in preparation sense. So sometimes the sellers can actually go, yeah, that number works for me. I'm fine with that. And it happened recently. Someone went away on holiday and they messaged us and said, "Oh, well, how can I never got a chance of that?" Well, you went away on holiday and we tried to get in touch with you, you never got back to us. It's as simple as that. And it's the seller's decision. Adamson Terrace as well in Leven. This is a 2-bedroom semi-detached house. High Street in Uchtermuchty, 3-bedroom, first floor flat. Wells Street in Cooper, 4-bedroom end terraced house. And Kirkwind in Strathmiglo, 4-bedroom detached house with a massive plot. You've probably seen that pre-portal recently. It's a cracking property. and it's extended to rear, and the outbuilding as well could be definitely repurposed for probably for a self-contained unit for someone. Maybe you've got an elderly member of the family, or you're all on one level, and that could be perfect for them and have their own living space and their own lawn at the side. Or you've got a more you've got a mature child. It's maybe no flown the nest yet, and maybe wants their own space, then that could be perfect for them as well. So check out the Kirkwind Strathmiglo one, 4-bedroom detached house, and it's on a substantial plot, and it's possibly to repurpose that outbuilding there, and it could be the perfect one for you. Offers over 425,000. Completed. Let me talk about what's completed over the line. Keys handed over. Now I'm going to tell you what they actually went for. So it gives you a real good indication about where the market is still in terms of offers over. For us anyway, definitely. I don't know about anybody else. I've got a sneaking suspicion everybody else is just getting home report. But for us, it's a wee bit different. Okay, so Maple Gardens in Methil, finally over the line. That's 2-bedroom terraced house, and it's sold in 2 weeks for 14% over the home report value. Yep, 14% over the home report value, represented in a £10,100 over the home report value. Do you think that paid for all the fees at the person? Yep, absolutely. And they got cash back in the exercise. Lawrence Drive in Leaven, 3-bedroom ground floor apartment. It's sold in 4 weeks for 5% over the home report value, represented on a £4,100. Invery Street in St Monans, 3-bedroom semi-detached house, sold in 4 weeks. Again, St Monans area, East Nuke, sold in 4 weeks, and it's sold for just over the home report value, 1% over, but represented an extra £2,000 anyway, but it's a really good price point in the first place. 222,000, a 3-bedroom semi-detached house in Invery Street in St Monans. I have a suspicion that is a new record for Invery Street for that type of property. We like breaking records, definitely. Okay, so if you're interested in any of the ones I said coming soon, Donaldson Road in Methil, Adamson Terrace in Leaven, High Street after Murday, Wells Street in Cooper, or Kirkwind in Strathmiglo, then give us a shout, definitely. Let me just quickly finish off by talking about the Wealth Creation Show. Wealth Creation Show tomorrow. Richard and I will be talking about this. So we're going to be talking about investment strategies and going through that and telling you all about what you need to do next. So the Wealth Creation Show is the 6 key drivers of motivation, and actually talking about all that tomorrow. So if you're interested in, and you just like thinking to yourself, I'm just not up for it now. I just like, where's my mojo, and I need my motivation back. We're going to tell you the six key drivers for motivation and how to get that. And then motivation, you can just break it into 2 syllables here. Motive for action. Motive, action, motivation. Okay, so that's ultimately what it means. So how do you get motivated? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. It's a force that drives people to really achieve their goals. Different people are motivated by different things, which can change over time. Knowing your motivators will help you achieve better goals in your life. Do you want to achieve everything you want to achieve in life? That's the show you're going to have to tune into tomorrow. It's a huge insight into what drivers are, and it's also a huge insight, psychology behind it as well, and what could set you off on your journey to your wealth creation and meteoric success in the next 5 years. It doesn't happen overnight. You understand the formula and apply it and take action. You can be where you want to be in the next 5 years as a result of the action that you take. So tune in tomorrow, 12:30, and Wealth Creation Show with Richard and I to talk about the 6 key drivers for motivation. Until next time, guys, have a fantastic rest of the evening. It's been a brilliant weekend, especially at Leavenmouth train station. The Leaven train station, the Cameron Bridge train station, is now officially open as of today. You can get right from Leaven through to Waverley in Princes, just off Princes Street, and be straight in Edinburgh, just outside of an hour. Fantastic. You won't have seen the place today. There was people coming across from Berwick visiting the area and going further into the East Nuke as well. This is an opportunity to take advantage of for everyone out there and build the success of Fife. Until next time, guys, I'm Jim Parker for Fife Properties.